Hey everybody, Garcia here, and today we are going to be diving into some dungeons, trying to loot that place of its treasure in Tricky Dungeon. Tricky Dungeon here, as you might have guessed, is a trick-taking game, one in which you are going to be selecting a character with which to go into a dungeon. That character changes every hand. So you have one that might say, hey, this is the trump suit and this is how you score. Hey, this is the thing you have to do and these are the tricks you don't want to take. Hey, this is, it sets parameters for you that you want to follow in order to get some coins. You get the most coins at the end of the whole thing, of course, you win. So there you go. We've seen this kind of game before, but this one, of course, it's its own thing. Let's take a look at how it works. We'll come on back after that. I'll tell you what I think of it. Here we're going to be taking a look at a game for 4 players. The very first thing you need to do is decide which of these characters you are going to be playing with. We are here looking at the B set, but you have an A set and then the C cards over here. They suggest you begin with the A cards. They're a little bit simpler, their abilities. I'm going to be showing you the B, okay? But they basically are going to give you a few pieces of information. They denote if there is a trump suit, one that beats all the other ones. Some special rules below that, possibly, and then how you earn points. Coins, if you would, right? That's the main idea. When you are the leader for the round, the dealer, what have you, you are going to be selecting one of the face-up ones and trying to utilize its abilities to make coins. If you manage to make some coins, great. Nobody else gets anything. You bank those coins, write them down, and then it'll be the next player's turn to pick one of these with a whole brand new hand of cards and try to make some coins. Now, if you get none at all, then everybody else gets 1. I'm going to go ahead and put aside the A's and the C's here. We'll just leave the B's out, and then let's take a quick look at the deck of cards. Now, the deck of cards here has different suits, which is the colors, and then some of the cards will have special abilities, if you would, with a little symbol here along the side. There are potions and there are spells, I believe they're called. So there's a potion. The ones with the little hands are, magic symbol, right? There are also these asterisks are simply for ranking the suits if there is some sort of tie. For example, if the trump suit becomes the hand symbol there, the little magic symbol, well, if you play 2 of those against each other, they might both be the same value, say these 2, okay? And the way you break that tie is the green, 4 asterisks, is always stronger than the blue. You'll notice it's always the same. Green's always 4, blue's always 3, yellow's always the weakest of the 4, okay? So I'm going to shuffle up the deck and deal everybody 7 cards for a 4-player game. Alright, that's 6, 7. And the other ones we're going to set aside just for a second, okay? I'm going to be the start player for this round, and the entirety of the game is twice around the table. Meaning twice in the game, everyone at the table is going to shuffle up and deal cards, look at them, select one of these, and then play a full hand trying to make coins, alright? So let's take a look at what I've got. Alright, here we go. I've got this one, which is a torch in blue. I've got this little magic guy, a goblin there. And, I have quite a few of these magic symbols, actually. 3 of those in my hand. So if I take a look over here, a good one for right now might be this sorcerer, because the trump is those cards. And then it says I earn 1 coin for each trick and potion I collect, but only past the first 4. Okay, with 4 players. Great. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that one. This is going to be what the rubric I'm using this hand to hopefully score some points. We'll set the other ones aside. And then the final thing I need to do is, I may switch cards from my hand with these that were not dealt out. Okay, I definitely want to keep these. Those are trump. And the rest of these, I'm going to get rid of a couple of the weaker cards. So I'll get rid of these 2, and I just discard those face down, and I draw 2 replacements. All right, not bad. there we go. Those are out. This is in my hand again. Obviously, nobody would have seen that. And then I am ready to begin. So I am going to lead a card to the table. I'm going to play that, and everybody will play around the table following suit. They must follow suit. So this player is going to play that. This player is going to play this, which is actually a trump card. So right now, they're winning. And then this player has no green, so they can play anything they want to, right? So if they throw away something like this, this is over. This player is winning because that's the trump suit, or the trump card type, right? I should say. It's not a suit, it's a type of card. However, this player could play that one, which is also trump, and that's when we would check the, like I said, the tiebreaker. This is still weaker, unfortunately. They wouldn't waste this card, but if it was reversed, then this would win it with the 4, assuming, of course, the lead of the suit wasn't green, right? So they're just going to chuck something. That doesn't matter. They're going to throw something away, and they might as well give it to this player to keep this one from scoring more points, okay? If they are getting rid of this potion, giving it to that player, then this one over here is going to be making fewer points. That's the idea. We're trying to just limit how many points this player gets. Hopefully none, and then everybody else gets a point. So there we go. That is done. The player who won that trick will lead the next one. So this player will lead now. They're going to take a look. They're going to lead that card there. And once again, we go around the table following suit. All right, it comes back to me. Look at that very fortunate trump card. And then this player has to follow. And this player is going to be a jerk and trump in as well with a stronger trump. So that wins. I'm getting hurt over here. Nobody's letting me get away with anything. All right, that player is now going to lead, and they're going to play a pretty low card. Not a great hand. They could do the trump, but they're not going to do that. We're going to play that one there. This player has to follow suit, and they will do so. This player has to follow suit, and they could play the 7, or they could play this trump card. They're going to play that 7. That's still winning. Comes back to me, and if I play the 6, I lose to the 7. If I play this 3, I win. It's got the magic symbol. So finally, I win one. There we go. Now I lead. I am going to lead that one there. This player will follow. They have nothing. They're going to throw that away. This player has green. It's a trump one too, so they're winning. And then this player here will just get rid of something. So they'll get rid of that. They don't have the green to follow suit. Very well. This player takes those. And then they lead. I'm just going to play this out. Doesn't really matter. It's very short. This player has to follow suit. They'll play that. Comes back to me. I don't have any red, but I could play that. That will beat the 4 because it is green. Green's stronger, okay? And then this player has to follow. They don't have it. There we go. That's mine. I'll take that. Play one out. The rest of this will be quite quick. This is a trump card. No, it's not. It's a potion. They don't want me to have it, probably. They had to. And that one, this is trump, though, so that player's taking that one. And then the final lead there, this one, this one, this one. That is the trump suit, or the trump type. They take that. And that's it for that hand. Okay, now we score, or I score, rather. I see how I did. Well, I took 2 tricks, right? And I've got potions. None. I made 2 points. I needed at least 4. Actually, I needed at least 5. Because it's only after that that I actually start making points. So this was terrible. I did not make any coins. Meaning everybody else at the table makes 1. We write that down on a piece of paper. We shuffle these up. And then the next player is going to, after everything has been dealt out, they're going to be the one to pick which of these things they would like to attempt to do. Some of them you don't want to take any tricks. Some of them have no trump. Some of them let you switch cards first and then decide what you're going to do. All sorts of abilities, like I said. So there you go. That's generally how the game goes. Let's go ahead and go back up top. Let me tell you what I think of it. Tricky Dungeon. There are a lot of trick-taking games out there. This is actually one that came out, I don't know, a couple of years ago. And had not been reviewed on here, and I finally did get around to it. I think it's okay. At the end of the day, this is an okay, kind of middle of the road, kind of surprising for being from a very small company from what I think. Surprisingly attractive, well finalized, but also not a superb game. It's okay. You probably own a trick-taking game if you like the genre, similar to this. And that game you own is likely better than this one. All right? Let's talk about it. Theme. Doesn't make any sense. You're looting a dungeon, so the other players are stopping you from looting? Are they representing the monsters in there? I'm not sure. If you don't get enough loot, why do other people get loot? It's also, ignoring all of that, the theme's just kind of boring. It's like, oh, okay, goblins and you know, magic and whatever. It's the same old thing. The aesthetics are good, surprisingly good, like I said. Now, the card quality is okay. It's not fantastic. The cards are thick, they shuffle well, they're not linen finish, they're not really, really high grade, but the artwork is bright, it's well done, card quality is good. The replay value here is pretty good, and there's those 3 ways you can play, or the 3 decks, right, that you can choose to use its characters. So that's nice, but then also just the trick-taking aspect of it. Now, it doesn't scale very well. It says you play 2, 3, or 4. You probably want to play with 4, but you can bring that down. Like most trick-taking games, you want to play typically at or around 4. This is not a partnership one, which is nice. Usually, or in many cases, a 4-player trick-taking game is a partnership game. This one's not. You're on your own. So that's neat. The game arc is one of my bigger negatives. It is a very slow game. The development of what's going on is very, very slow. You barely feel like you are making progress. An entire hand, you might make 3 points. Nobody else gets anything, or you get nothing at all. Each other player gets 1. So final score is like 7. Woo! You know, it just feels really slow. 8 hands is a bit... It's not one of the longest trick-taking games I've played, right? There's tons of them that are like an entire evening's worth of trick-taking. Here you go. This one is a little longer than I usually like them to be. I like my trick-taking games to be punchy. 3 rounds. Boom. You know, something a little just splashier than this. And so I find it suffers a little bit, the game arc, because of it. A little long, a little low scoring, not a lot of excitement. Let's see, what else? Ease of play here. The twists to a standard card deck, and by that I mean suits are fine. Suits are suits. But all this stuff where like, oh, the zeros are torches. So we are going to, you know, sometimes that'll be a trump suit. Okay, fine. The zeros. That's fine. And then sometimes it's magic. Oh, the magic is some of the numbers, the 4s and the 4s and the 3s. Okay. But also that's still its own suit. You have to follow that suit. Just the 3s and the 4s are better. And then the potions are the 5s and 6s. It's a little messy. The bends to a standard trick-taking game, or a standard deck of cards, I should say, are a little messy. Not huge. Not super confusing. Just a little. It's the kind of deck that you want everybody to understand before you start playing. This is the kind of deck you don't just shuffle up and deal and then go. You want to explain to people the breakdown of the composition of this deck before you start. All right. Lastly, tactics, luck, strategy. It's okay. Some of the goals, some of the characters get picked more than others. They are a surefire way to get some points. Some of the other ones feel much more long shot, but if you don't get anything, everybody else gets a point. So unless you have a rock in hand, you pick a character that nets you a couple of points. most hands are not rocking hands. You don't know what the cards you're going to discard. You'll discard a couple and draw a couple new ones. How do you know those are going to be better? You don't, right? So a lot of the same characters end up getting picked. And then even if you do go for the long shot, sometimes that hand will be a little less exciting. Because I got to get all these tricks and potions. Oh, I got 1, I got 2, I got 3. I needed 4 or 5. No points. Everybody else gets 1. So that's the issue. Like I said, there are a lot of trick-taking games of this ilk. Pretty much just like it. The Bruno for Duty has one. The Goblin King, which is very similar. A little kookier than this one. And I think if I would recommend a kooky trick-taking game with a fantasy theme, I would say get that one from Bruno for Duty. He knows kooky. Man knows how to make that game a little more bizarre. You're likely to get lower lows in that game, like hands that are just boring. But you're also likely to get higher highs. It's less predictable, but it's ultimately more of a roller coaster. This is somewhere down the middle. Some hands are, ooh, I did stuff. And some hands are just like, didn't make it. Here's a couple points. A little longer. This is longer also than that game. So there you go. It's just another trick-taking game. Nicely finalized. The company, I think, did a good job. I'm looking forward to what else they put out. But this one is, unfortunately, playing in a crowded field and doesn't really bring anything distinct and new to the table. So I'm going to go right down the middle of the road here and say that Tricky Dungeon gets a 5 out of 10 from me. There you go. You're a completionist with trick-taking games. Get it? Otherwise, there are better ones readily available. There it is, everybody. That's it for me on this one. My name is Z Garcia. I'm going to see you on the next one.